morning, YouTubers. 'Tis I, Mike Martins, with the Mike Martins channel, of course. And, yeah, I got this cough the last 2 days. It's nice outside. It is +9 right now, but I'm kind of covered up a little bit. I don't know why, but I just got this weird cough. It just came out of nowhere. Yesterday was really nice. The day before was really nice. I mean, there's a lot of reasons why, right? But, yeah, I'm just here. And, something really interesting is going to happen now going forward with YouTube. A lot of people don't know about. Apparently, YouTube now is going to start leaving a link to Wikipedia, the most trusted resource on the planet. You know, I'm saying that in facetious terms, but stating that what someone's talking about it and basically debunking it in a Wikipedia article. So this is like book burning. Everybody resorts to one book, basically. And that's it. And that's the information you need to know, which is really scary. Because I made a video way back, I think it was about a year ago, how print's disappearing and how I'm afraid that information could be completely mimicked or changed to favor to favor whatever agenda they want to favor. And that's very scary, because then people will never know. And then they have this mentality where, why do they need to know? They're just little peons. You know, we're little peons doing our day-to-day, paying off our slave debt. What difference would it make if we knew if we actually went to the moon? What difference would it make if we knew, if people knew that the banking system's rigged? Like, there's a lot of things. Oh, there's a million things, right? So one thing, my little getting in with it, or getting in with Wikipedia, kind of like getting in with them, like as in like argumentatively, was the language thing. So I volunteer for You Count It, a census You Count It program that legitimately counts the census, like legitimately so, for distribution purposes, for labeling in languages, for everything, like legitimately. And so I volunteered this February, and I volunteered 2 Februarys ago, like every 2 years. And what my job is to call different provincial and state offices in different parts of Nicaragua, parts of Mexico. And I call them, oye, buenas, como, mira, estoy buscando estos números de este estado. ¿Cuánta gente, you know, how many people speak, what are the languages that came back? Is there an Aboriginal language also that we should include, you know, so we know, blah, 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 just to understand what's going on, right? Because communication is key, right? Okay. So, for the longest time, there's 2 major countries in Africa, big players too, Angola and Mozambique, and those are my Portuguese channel is directed to that. I have a Portuguese YouTube channel that I direct to basically revising the Constitution. People should be better taken care of, you know, especially if they're supplying the world with minerals and stuff. But anyways, that's a topic for another day. So little did a lot of people know that there's 108 million people in Africa that speak Portuguese. Like Portuguese proper, like same they would in Portugal. So little do people know that much, that's that many, and that pretty much engulfs the entire French language in the world. But then you got Brazil with 208 million people, and then you got other parts of the world. Like a lot of people speak Portuguese in France. Ask somebody from France how many Portuguese people they went to school with. Portuguese-speaking people they went to school with. They'll tell you. Half my school was Portuguese. That's what they'll tell you, people. But anyways, so let me get to my point of my story. I went through the census thing. We collected all our numbers. So the first biggest language, organized language in the world is Mandarin. Chinese Mandarin is the most organized. It's Mandarin. It was 1.1 1.25 billion. Yeah, was Mandarin this year. Second was Spanish, 411 million. Third was English, 381 million. Fourth was Portuguese, 300 and I think it's 310 or 309 million. So 60 million less than English.
Hi, can I help you?
Hi, can I get a large coffee with one cream?
Sure, anything else?
That's it.
Sure, 210 at the window, please.
Okay. What else? Gonna tap it down, people. Hi. Yes, please. Thank you. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Anyways, so back to what I was saying. So it was Mandarin, Spanish, English. A lot of people forgetting there's about 70, 80 million people that speak Spanish in the United States. They don't want to fathom that. They don't want to accept that, right? But that's what it is, right? And the official language in South America is Portuguese, with 208 or 209 million speakers of Portuguese language. And when people say, "Oh no, that's Brazilian. They don't speak Portuguese there." Okay, if that's Brazilian, then Australia speaks Australian. We could play that game. We could play. Oh, they don't speak Portuguese in Brazil, then Australia speaks Australian, and South Africa speaks Afrikaan. Anyways. So I got in it with Wikipedia because I went in with the numbers that we received 2 years ago, and I was banned from updating the numbers. And I have references with a lot of the work that was sent in and stuff. So I volunteer. I don't even do this to get paid. So they basically like shut me out. I am unable. So if I go to Wikipedia, on some pages it tells me on red on top, you are unable to edit this profile, or unable to edit this, you know. So if I make a video discussing this, what I'm talking about, right? Oh, and number 5, by the way, guys, after Portuguese, number 5 was Arabic, with 216 million. And then I think it was Bengali, and then it was Hindi. Then I think it was, I can't remember exactly the top 10 off the top of my head for this year, but that's what it was. So it was most organized languages was Mandarin, Spanish, English with 300, I think it's 388 million. Then Portuguese with 308 or 309 million, and then it was Arabic with 2 something. So it's a huge gap between the two languages. But you go to Wikipedia, I think it says 160 million people speak Portuguese, but there's 208 million people in their census that came back as speaking Portuguese in Brazil. And there's 108 million that speak it in Africa alone, organized, like really organized. And people are like, oh, why do they speak Portuguese in these African countries so well? In the French countries, it's not even understandable. Well, the Portuguese were in Africa 500 years. They built schools. Instead of going in like the French and robbing everything, they went in there and actually built schools, soccer stadiums, libraries. Today, Angola and Mozambique are very heavily Catholic countries. Very heavily Catholic countries. And a lot of people fled when the Western countries went into those countries to destabilize them because they were like booming. A lot of Russia went in there. Cuba went into Angola. Look it up. And it was a huge problem. So what happened was they went to destabilize those countries. They were like Libya, like big time, like up there with airports and infrastructure and shipping and docks and ports and refining and metals and blah, blah, blah. The Portuguese did really good there for 500 years. And it got to a point where the French, the Dutch, the German, they're like, no, the Portuguese can't continue with this. No. That's not going to happen. So they went there, destabilized everything, took everything away from the people, took everything that people worked for there. And anyways, back to what I was saying, they won't tell you these things, right? So a lot of Portuguese moved to South Africa, all right? That's why there's like 8 or 9 million people in South Africa that speak Portuguese, right? a majority of my family was those people that had to move to South Africa from Mozambique because of what happened with the destabilization of the countries, right? So if you're bored, look up Mozambique 1960s, 1970s. Type in Mozambique 1960s and see what it was like, how organized it was. There was no segregation. Whoever did the job better got the job. And a lot of other countries looked on that and said, I'm just checking on the store here. Making sure. The door doesn't look like it's locked. So I'm going to go back and check the door and make sure it's locked. So yeah, I thought I'd bring that video up. Now they're going to start putting a link below to debunk what it is you're talking about. So we're going to lose a lot of knowledge in history. So in 100 years from now, they're actually, in 100 years from now, people that read the history books are going to find, or the history digital archives, are going to find out that Saddam Hussein did have weapons of mass destruction. That he did when he did it. And that's what's the scary part of it. And the Americans went there as the heroes to destabilize the country, to make sure that he didn't destroy the rest of the world. And that's the sad part of it. And believe me and mark my words that this will happen. Because everyone's going to start turning towards the next 50 years. Everything's going to be archival, right? Everything's going to be archived. And everything is going to be digitally protected in some sort of a blockchain in favor of the English, Dutch, and the French, and everybody else could screw off. And that's just basically what history is about now going forward. Anyways, I'm gonna go check on my store. I'll see you guys later. Thanks for watching.